Right.
Experiencing Utah's
So one of the
Rendezvous felt
things
like
that
time travel
at
to
least when I was
1800s
younger
fur
was really
trading
big here
days.
in Utah is they had what was called the Rendezvous, which was a weekend long, and like the Renaissance Fair, they dressed up like back in the time in the 1800s when the fur companies would come out west and set up a big camp, and then all of the fur traders and the natives would come to bring in, their beaver pelts and, some of the stuff they had to trade. They would spend a week in this big camp with everybody trading and drinking and having parties, and it was called a rendezvous. And they would recreate that. They still do recreate that here. It's not as big as it used to be, but when you would walk down that, you'd walk in there, and the smell of the tanned hides and being able to see the wares just like back from the day. Even as a kid, the feeling of being right back at that time was amazing, and it was so much fun. And I think, there's also stories out there along that the lines, especially at the Rendezvous, where there was a gentleman who was selling things at the Rendezvous, and he was dressed up like a mountain man, and he thought he knew everybody there because they're all part of a group. But this young man that was in buckskins and just decked out came through and was looking at his knives and everything, and and he was talking to him, and he was like, "Oh, you really look good. This is such a good, you've done a good job." And he kind of looked at him funny and then walked off. But he almost seemed to disappear after leaving his booth, and nobody remembered him from anything else. And so to me, I was wondering if it was just like a spirit from back in the day that happened to wander through, and it looked so familiar that brought them into our reality. Or maybe it was, somebody from the past that wandered in unknowingly into the future and didn't know it, and then was whisked back to his time. So it's something like that can definitely bring back feelings